Hello, guys. Welcome back to Lotus D. Hopefully, everyone's having a good day or has had a good day. Whoever is listening right now and taking the time to dial in or you know show up. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So today is all about a little bit of storytelling. It's relationship red flags. I call it storytelling because there's always a story involved. And I like to warn you all ahead of time so you guys know and you're like, oh, she's going to tell the story. Let's sit down and have some popcorn. Just kidding. But don't forget to do those three things, guys. Like, subscribe, or follow. Thank you again. All right. So, relationship red flags. Wow. Okay. This is. Here we go. When I was in my last relationship, I ignored a couple of red flags because, it cost me peace. And I thought, oh, be all right. No, they're going to be okay. I can get past that. They don't have to be perfect. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not expecting them to be perfect. So the one thing that irked me in the end, when I look back at it now, was that my boundaries were basically not respected. And we talk about boundaries a lot on here, and there's a reason for that because setting boundaries and expectations of boundaries works in all types of, again, ships, whether it's relationship, friendship, or leadership. So, therefore, when it comes to those ships, it's all about having that respect on both sides or whoever is on that ship, that they're all in it together, right? So it seemed like he would always text me constantly. There's always like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm at work. I can't answer you back if I'm at work." Um, I would say things like, "I'm busy," and I was busy. I was at work, and the thing was, I said that. I told that to him. I told him that there'll be times you're gonna call, and I'm gonna be at work, and I'm not gonna be able to respond because I can't get back to you. Um, yeah. So over time, it turned into something that was almost controlling to the point where can't you have your phone on the floor? Because being a retail manager, a lot of times you don't want your team having their phones on the floor because it's distracting. You'll be with a customer and their phone is going on. You be with a customer and they send you a silly picture, which is sweet. But you're like, I told you when my lunch break was. I told you when this time was. I told you when that took place. And they still kind of want to be the person that, I don't know, gets your attention. It becomes a point where, to me, I felt like I was being manipulated. Like they wanted me to know that I was theirs and they were mine. And so it was my fault, I guess, because I wasn't getting the phone as soon as they called. And I really want you guys to think about that because it can turn into control. Um, because you jump when the phone rings. Not jump like, oh, like you're scared, but jump like, I've got to let them I've got to get to the phone. I got to get to the phone. It also stems from some time unfortunate insecurity. Somebody may have cheated on them, to the point where I had someone, and I'm telling you this story because obviously I got away from the person. I'm not with them. No, have I? But it happened to a person that was working with me one day. Same thing, same scenario. And I said to her, and I said, "Oh, does he do that all the time?" And it's happened with girls too. So I don't want to make sure, as you all know, I am all about being truthful over here and being transparent. And women do the same thing, just like men. They are very controlling as well. They can be. And they can also be very manipulative, just like a man can. So it doesn't matter. It's not about what sex I'm speaking to. At the time, I just happened to be speaking to a female. But it's also happened with someone who worked with me who was a male and had the same thing. His girlfriend would even show up at his work. She would purposely have lunch with him to make sure the other women at that time, which I had, I think it was through the holiday season. So I had like, I don't know how many people were at the store. Whew, I want to say 100, 120. And then it's happened to me when I've had people who were literally, I was probably like 40 people working with me or 20 or even down to like less because they felt like he was a little too close or she was too close to that person at the workplace. That was their work wife or work husband. And, those terms are cute. You gotta be real careful how you use them because if you use them and your person who you're with is insecure and you know that, then whose fault is that? Not theirs, that's yours. You're starting up another conflict. And that being said, we are talking about storytelling, but we're also talking about red flags. That is definitely a big red flag when someone does not listen to you when you say, as I mentioned, if you're going to call me, I have lunch today. And I had people take the time out, and I even did it. I was like, okay, well, I have time. I'll be available for lunch, and I take it usually at 1:30 to 2:30, an hour lunch, you know. And they were like, okay, great. God forbid I was not available until 1:45. Seriously, where were you? Where do you think it was? You see what I'm saying? Then there we go. And I'm like, oh Lord. And then you're apologizing. When are you paying my bills? That's how I got to the end. Y'all are like, tell the rest of the story. Okay, so the rest of the story was he never showed up or anything, but he definitely kept calling one day profusely, just ringing, ringing, ringing my phone. I had it on silence, obviously, right? Hello, duh, I'm at work. Um, I sat down to have a break, saw how many times he had called, went outside, and broke up with him. Yeah, and I felt okay about it because I called him. I didn't text him. One. Secondly, I told him if he kept doing that, that it caused me issues. Two. And then thirdly, I told him as well that it was disrespectful and I was tired of him being disrespectful to me because it's not something I'm going to put up with. Does this gentleman still call to this day? Off and on. He's like, what you doing? How's it going? You doing all right? Doing great? How you been? Boy, he tried to be nice. I could have ghosted him, but I decided not to. People do that all the time. Now I see why. Keep them away. Just kidding. But I learned something. You know, I was, it stressed me out at work. And my team could see it. It was not effective. And I have to tell someone to go outside to have a conversation with their boyfriend because he's already here in the store saying, why didn't you call me back when I asked you to? I had gotten you, I was there at the lunch table waiting for you and you weren't there. I mean, seriously? Come on, guys. Stop it. It is what it is. When you know you have someone in your life that's insecure, then you must do what you need to do, especially when you love them. So I'm not here to tell you how not to do it. But at the same time, these are big red flags to tell you that your relationship is probably not going to last unless you do all the catering to them, which is one sided and it's not fair to you. A lot of us be in a relationships, we have a child with people. I don't have a child with someone, but they'll have a child with someone and they'll keep on going on with that person because they have a child with them until the child is 18. And it's a loveless marriage and it's a loveless relationship and there's a lot of shouting and a lot of other things. And you think, I'm going to stay with the child because the child needs me to stay with them. Really? Do they? Do they really? Are you sure about that? Peace that you have for you is also going to be peace for everyone around you. And when you are not having peace in your home, your child, no matter how old they are, they can be 5, 10, 15, 20, they're going to see it. They're going to know you're not at peace. It's going to make them stress as well. Just a point to be made. Not saying you need to do that, not saying you need to break up with a happy home, not saying you need to break up anything, just speaking red flags. Okay. So if someone is consistently dismissive and doesn't care about your boundaries, that is not love, that is manipulation. All right, there you go. There you have it. Lotus D has let you know what's going on. I appreciate you all again. Thank you again. And please don't forget to do those three things for me: love, subscribe, or follow me. All right. Have an amazing night, everybody. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Take care.